This regular meeting of the North Libby Pool Park and Recreation District Board of Commissioners. I'm calling this meeting to order at 6:01 p.m. Commissioner Prater, President, Commissioner Larson, Commissioner Whitmer, Commissioner Hartman, here, Commissioner Guy. Moving on to the agenda. Does anyone have anything to add to the agenda?
I would like to add the minutes for the special meeting for the consent agenda for approval. Just tacking it onto spot A. Or I move to add. I see it, okay. Well, we can go to correct the agenda for this one. Fix it now. Okay. In this month's agenda, under minutes, it's supposed to be 8/22/24. It says 8/2/25. Can we just exit out now without having to correct it when it goes to draft next month?
It's in the consent agenda, so you can pull it, because you're not supposed to discuss anything on it, but you could pull it out and just put it on the bottom of the agenda to correct the name. So you recommend a motion to remove minutes 8/22/5.24 BOC regular minute meeting and add it to new business item C to correct the date.
Yeah, it's just the agenda listing.
The last time we were doing where the had to be present in order to.
But there's nothing wrong with the minutes. There's just something wrong with how the minutes are labeled in this.
Pull that. So again,
Pull it to amend the title, because the title will go in the minutes.
under new business for B.
It would be C because she's added special meeting minutes, correct? So it would be C.
I would like to add a discussion item to the minutes for tonight as well. The letter that was received by Christina Merrick, the principal of Oak Harbor Elementary. An open discussion about that, so that seems the most appropriate place. Good. Christina Merrick.
Do we have some motions?
I make a motion to amend tonight's agenda with two changes that were just recorded and recommended for items, new business items C and D.
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. I make a motion to accept the consent agenda, approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Well, yeah, as noted.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
comment. Board of Commissioners welcomes public input on items listed on the agenda, policies, and or issues affecting the district. Board of Commissioners takes the time to listen and consider, but not comment. Anyone who wishes to comment, please let us know. Please state your name and keep your comments to 3 minutes. Thank you.
Commissioner Kramer, can you attest and send? Thank you.
If we're moving on to staff reports. Yeah. Doesn't matter. Staff reports.
So right to your left, Commissioner Kramer, is, that's currently at the printer that will be going, out to approximately 17,000. The postcard, 17,481 residents. I should be picking it up next week and start mailing them next week. It's two-sided. The Oak Harbor School District Marketing Director helped me with it, as well as one of our staff members. So thank you to them.
Appreciate it.
This week has been a lot of billing for Julie because she is on vacation, so processing payroll, getting bills done. I do have a Whidbey Island Baseball Club contract update. I'm just gonna remind you in the staff report, though, that it is attorney-client privilege, so we don't really want to talk about the meat of it in open meeting. Otherwise, you waive that right. So that is why I didn't send it out to you ahead of time, because it wasn't where I wanted it to be. And so she wasn't able to meet this week. She had a busy schedule and I only got it 2 days ago. So we're gonna discuss next week, set a meeting to talk with her about it next week. But I did want you to see that there's movement on it. The October 4th open house is going well. NWAC is gonna participate with us. And Julie has a list of events that she has planning for it, with a balloon drop that's going on. Shane is also, we had the military appreciation picnic. It was not as well attended as it was in the past, but that was because of the weather, I think. But heard lots of great things about seeing our signs out there. And so felt good about hearing that, because I heard the opposite message too, but even staff heard about the signs who were running games. And so I thought that was heartening to hear. I think that's all of the updates that I have for you. Oh, no, sorry. NFL flag is almost over. Volleyball will look like it should start, and registration for basketball will open on October 1st. So, sorry, I'm wearing a lot of hats right now, and my ADD is going a little nuts today.
Reports. Program committee.
Just like a special meeting.
Committee.
Yeah, we finally got an interview with the Whidbey News Times. They took some information. They're gonna come to Google this week and get some photos to augment that, and they're saying that we should have an article in the paper about the levy by next Wednesday's edition. I know that a lot of signs have been given out. There's still some left, but I also stopped by the sale that we had here, the yard sale last Saturday. There's a lot of good foot traffic. It wasn't a great day, but then they know they made just over $500. So there's some movement. And I'm fielding some calls. People are seeing signs, and so now they're starting to ask questions. So, just getting the word out. And I think the newspaper will help with that. And I think we're gonna try and get something in the Whitby Weekly as well.
Is there any way we can invite them to the open house? Like, has anybody made that kind of touch? Say, I think we're having a house on the fourth, and
I know Whitby News Times is aware of that, and they were planning on coming, but we wanted to get an article in the paper before then.
right,
But so they'll be there.
Yeah.
I don't know who else, would be coming. I can talk to. Does anybody have a contact at, Whitby Weekly? The former owner was my former contact. And they don't have any-
in passing, I would have to dig in my memory banks.
Okay, I'll find out.
I might be able to connect with somebody. It was at, an event on South Whitby that I was at last weekend where I just kind of overheard in passing of the new owners. So I'll reach out to the organizer of that event and see if they have a connection with the person. And if so, then I can connect with those folks.
Okay. That's all I had, unless there was something missing.
The budget committee is listed, but we have disbanded the budget committee. That doesn't have to be on there. Committee?
So for the bylaws committee, we met and we discussed some updates to the bylaws, or post updates, as well as put together the business sustaining rules. Those are out. Has everybody had a chance to check those out? Okay, they are located in Microsoft Teams with track changes on, so that everybody can take a look at it. The idea is to have a conversation tonight about those. Specifically the changes, so we can go over that. We don't have printed copies of them because they're still working and we don't want versions flying all over the place. But it actually won't take too long if we kind of talk about it for those that would like to follow along.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. So I'm going to start with the business sustaining rules. I think those are probably the easiest route first. And I'll read. So business sustaining rules of the North Whitby Pool Park Recreation District rules herein were approved by a majority vote in the future of the Board of Commissioners, North Whitby Pool Park and Recreation District. The rules are binding among the Board of Commissioners. I'm just going to say BOC, okay? And staff doing business with the BOC. This document shall be maintained by the board secretary or their designee and updated with relevant information and rules directed by the BOC. Basically meaning we don't have to hold votes to update this thing. The secretary's going to keep it updated. We're going to vote one time and bring it in. So definitions, then we go into what we've already approved for definitions for service program, supplemented program, and activity. They've already been thrown out. That column, that definition column is open to more definitions in the future. It's just what we've already approved. It's in there. And you'll see that as you look through this, there's holes in here for more stuff later on. General BOC rules. In open forum among the public and junior staff when conducting business, the BOC and staff will maintain a professional relationship and control emotions and conversation. To maintain a respectful environment and decorum, commissioners will be addressed as commissioner last name. The executive director will be addressed as director last name. Other staff members and members of the public will be addressed appropriately in a manner they prefer according to their established working relationships. So we started with sir, ma'am, not so much, and then we kind of moved to a preferred. We didn't want to go too far down the line with. We don't want to call Julie business manager along. Let's just figure out the right way. Executive director is the one that reports to us, so we should maintain a professional relationship that way. Or
The decorum.
That's the word. Okay, personal character attacks are never acceptable. BOC and senior staff, regardless of tenure or hierarchy, shall immediately intervene if personal attacks can occur and control the situation. Respectful dialogue is required to further any initiatives. All BOC members and staff shall be given a reasonable opportunity to present their point of view without interruption before any action. In general, comments should be limited to 3 minutes or less. Rebuttals should be limited to 1 minute or less and only address and offer new information. Respectful professional criticism, feedback, and discipline should be offered or presented in private or semi-private forum. It shall never occur in open forum or in the presence of junior staff or the public. Commissioners shall never task, criticize, or discipline staff other than the executive director. The executive director should be notified of the need for discipline of their employees. Commissioners are encouraged to engage staff in other non-supervisory ways and may request feedback from staff such as, how was your day? How's the new policy working out? Do you have any recommendations you'd like me to take to the board? While attending meetings, the BOC and staff will represent the district professionally. While no dress code is agreed upon, participants should dress the way they wish to represent themselves in the organization. Public meetings require much concentration and decisions greatly impact patrons and taxpayers. Members of the staff should be prepared, rested, alert, and not intoxicated during all official meetings. Failure to prepare or inattentiveness is disrespectful to the time of other members, staff, and the public. So those are our general rules, proposed general rules. Do we need to open discussion yet or to keep going? Okay. So we have room for the budget committee, which just recently disbanded. We have room for the bylaws committee. I don't know what we put in there, but probably like we'll review every other year. Program committee rules. I've got listed the 2 things that we talked about a couple meetings ago about proposals, evaluation of program success. Will be given time to succeed. Those are the things that were already approved. And that's where we end on that right now. So that's where we stand on that.
And at some point, I'm gonna need to figure out how to get access to that,
Okay,
Microsoft Teams so that I can take a look at that.
Yeah. I can send it to you.
Okay, because that sounds pretty good so far. It's a good starting point.
Yeah.
But
and that's what we're looking for. It's just a starting point. This is something that our current secretary, whoever the secretary is next, will continuously update so that we can either have it sitting there or we know what the precedent that we've already set is.
it'll be a living document.
Yes, that's the idea.
Excellent, thank you.
Any more concerns that we have so far? Are we on the right track?
Sounds good. So good.
Okay.
Beginning to the foundation.
All right, so bylaws. Has everybody had a chance to read the bylaws? The whatever the bylaws were before we started messing with it. Hold on just a second.
I have to like look at it web-based too.
Okay, so bylaws, these are proposed changes after meeting. There's a couple things that Grammarly says are worded better, so we're not actually changing the words of things. It's more like we're taking the opportunity. Obviously, the date would be changed from October 2nd, 2020. I'm sorry, October 26th, 2023 to October 24th, 2024. We get through this and vote on it at our next meeting. Commissioners, we found that the board was referred to several different ways in there. So we've basically gone through and so the governing body is a board of 5 elected members known as commissioners, adding here and after referred to as the board. Small the, big B for board. That is now consistent throughout. So So this is kind of a wording thing. I don't think we're changing the meaning of it, but it was written, these bylaws shall be reviewed and adopted no more than every 24 months. So we've just changed it from no more than to at least. I think no more than kind of alluded that we were supposed to, it could be taken a couple different ways. So that's just a wording change. Board positions, majority of the whole membership of the board shall elect instead of select, because we did vote on it. A chair, vice chair, and secretary. These officers, instead of just the chair, but they originally said just the chair. These officers shall hold office until the first meeting in January each year. These officers may, if reelected, serve more than one term. Then we're adding this in, or we're proposing to add this in. The board may, upon a vote of 60%, vacate any position, but an officer fails to adequately perform their assigned duties effectively. An election for vacated position should be held as soon as feasible. So that's not necessarily something, but it's something that was probably missing. Then we have a little bit of time where we actually don't have any changes. Okay, so wording change, talking about when people use their titles or commissioners use their titles, if choosing to do so, it must be made clear when speaking in official capacity is what it said. This just says now in an official capacity. I'm just telling you everything that was changed, not just, and some of them were just wording, but section 3.9 is an addition. Section 3.9 business and standing rules, the secretary shall digitally maintain a list of business and standing rules as adopted by the board to assist in the day-to-day decision-making of the board and executive staff. Each member of the board shall have access to and adhere to the business standing rules as adopted. Business and standing rules may be amended, appended, or stricken at any time by a majority vote of the board. The business and standing rules are intended to establish precedent, maintain standardization in the decisions made at the board. Okay. That's an addition. That makes 3.9 now 3.10. Changing. Okay, so there is a sentence that says no member shall speak or act for the board without prior authorization of the board. Just added in the majority of the board, because we won't all agree on everything. So if we have a majority, then the board is technically adopting whatever that position is. Section 3.12, no, it was 3.11, so 3.12. This read kind of funny before. This is kind of a wording change, no change in the motives here. The chair from time to time may appoint board members to serve on standing or special committees. That sentence just is changed to the chair may appoint board members to serve on standing or special committees. Time to time seems kind of weird going with standing committees. It's like kind of opposites. So.
Yeah, it's your word salad.
It is
unnecessary.
The chair shall state the objectives of the committees and the date upon which a report shall be issued to the board was taken out and replaced with reporting requirements. Not all committees are going to have a specific date for reporting. They're going to have a continuous reporting. So, and then we kind of tossed this around. This has actually come up before, the chair being an ex officio member of such committees. It's my recommendation that we actually take that out, because then we end up with 3 members on a board. So that could establish a quorum and decisions can be made in a committee meeting that is not public, and it could just lead us down bad roads. I don't think anything is hidden in committee meetings, and the chair actually sits on some committees. So it is my recommendation that we just take that part out up for debate. Moving forward, appointments and removal of the executive director is what we're talking. I'm sorry, duties of the executive director and the appointment and removal. So this was a deletion with extra words. The executive director shall perform the administrative duties specified by these bylaws And then this is where it starts getting deleted. And the duties of the executive director as set forth in the duties below and additional duties designated by the board and assigned in accordance with the executive director's employment contract.
So we just took all that out.
So all that came out, it just said the executive director shall perform the administrative duties specified by these bylaws. Because the last thing on these bylaws, it says perform all other duties assigned by the board. So it was saying the same thing 3 times in one sentence. Just so short. So specific duties of the executive director and item number D to represent the district to the greater community, including partners, social organizations, and the general public was just changed to public wording. There's another wording thing about, so it was worded like this: to prepare and submit to the board a proposed operating budget and plan for the fiscal year to be responsible for the administration of the adopted budget. Now worded to prepare and submit to the board a proposed operating budget and plan for the fiscal year and administer the adopted budget. Less words, same meaning. I already talked about perform other duties assigned by the board. I already talked about changing all of those titles to just the board. So wording, okay. You know, we are, this is the last thing. I'm just checking if we're changing words and stuff. I'm not gonna try to waste, I'm trying not to waste your time. So we did have the foregoing bylaws of the Northwood Equal Park and Recreation District consisting of 6 articles have been amended, adopted, and approved by, it says on here, at least 3 members of all board members present and voting. We just changed up to a majority vote.
Well, the 6 articles, because there might be more articles eventually.
So this is actually the certification line that says this is where it is right now.
Oh, okay.
So this would be changed no matter what. So we have to vote on bylaws on a periodic basis. So if we were to add an article, we would have to change that anyways.
Okay.
So this is saying the foregoing bylaws of the Northwood Equal Park and Recreation District consisting of these 6 articles have been amended, adopted, and approved on this date. And that's the end.
And what we can do is send you guys, the official write-up of the proposed changes. That actually, per our bylaws, needs to go out to you 10 days prior. Voting on it, I plan to send it to you 2 weeks prior, just to give a little bit of extra wiggle room, for folks to look at it. The hope is that we vote on it in October.
I appreciate the detail and the attention to the minutia in there and pulling out the extemporaneous words.
Open to discussion if there's something that one of us is recommending that is not really.
I didn't hear anything that I disagree with.
H. Just making sure, does that also apply to like if there's a situation at the pool? How would they contact them?
To make the board aware.
I don't think it delineates how they choose to,
Just-
yeah, just that there's notification out.
I think putting too much specificity on that allows for failure.
Well, my thing was also just, I don't know if the bylaw is a prepare just protocol, just having a backup if the director is not present. It would be the next in line to on board. Since we're not supposed to be talking to this stuff.
Yeah. I think that can be, like, so all of these tasks can be delegated. So I think that even though it doesn't explicitly say it in. Yeah. Um.
But
We
is
can
that
add
what you're
one.
getting at? So
Yeah, just
some-
like, just the thing that they have opportunity to.
Yeah, I think if we put that up at the top, like, because all of these tasks can be delegated,
Yeah.
right? So I think if we just specify that any of these tasks can be delegated at the executive director's discretion. That'll kind of give a good general, blanket for coverage.
Yeah. Just happened in the past and then like, no,
Yeah. So, and I mean, it's kind of the same thing, like if, Jay is trying to reach 6 of us, right, or 5 of us, right, so there's like people on her mind. If the first person she reaches out to is you and then says, hey, can you let
Yeah.
commissioners, Larson and
but
Hartman
in
know?
a
And I'll be,
situation that
yeah.
she's not present.
right, no,
That's my, like,
but I'm saying like
I
it
was
works the
at the
same
same
way.
when she wasn't present and
Yeah.
we're all sitting there going, well, I'm here, I'm notified,
Yeah,
but how do we notify everybody else?
Yeah.
So, I just want to make sure that it's identified.
yeah. I think that is, that responsibility is definitely addressed in the bylaws, just kind of. We can add a line that specifies that these tasks can be delegated.
On to unfinished business and then with the island baseball.
So there is movement, there is one particular area, which is different than her and I originally discussed. And so that's why I didn't send it out, because I know that's not what we want to do. And so I want to have a discussion with her about that, because I don't think that she's aware, and she's referencing one part of the law without realizing that there's another part that allows us to do what we currently do. And so I want to make sure I have that conversation and then get her opinion.
There was only one change, everything else.
Well, she had some questions for me before she could finish it up, but she wanted to talk about it. So as you go through it, you'll see that there's parts where she said insert, but it's gonna be insert based on our conversation.
New business, NWR contract.
So there's usually such a quick turnaround regarding this, that because it's revenue, I usually sign it before you guys see it, since it's only giving us money, but it won't actually go into effect until after, if you approve it. So, and it's our yearly.
Is it supposed to stay for 2025 to 2026?
Yes, because it starts in October and it ends in September.
So that covered, so we have a contract October 2024 to September 2025.
So our contract ends September 2024. So the new one will begin September or October 2024 and go to next September 2025.
Okay, so the dates are wrong in the motion.
Oh, in the motion.
I just wanted to make sure I said the same thing. Or the correct thing. I move to approve MWR contract NNFREG -24-M-0065 for October 2024 to September 2025.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Thank you for getting.
Uh, Special meeting minutes for me, August 2nd, 2024.
Oh, it does.
Oh.
Bella used a template, right?
Sure. And what's the date on those minutes?
8/2. No, I only put it. Well, I figured one of us was gonna do this today. Well, I was just, because I was also like, I'm just gonna email it to her so she can remove the watermark once it's approved anyway. Oh, I just didn't think.
The general motion to approve or recommended. The
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Move on to August 22nd, 2024 minutes.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, I wrote it down.
I move to adopt the minutes from August 22nd as presented.
All in favor of this motion, say aye.
Aye.
I move on to the email from Christina Merritt regarding the lease when the lesson board.
Yeah, I believe we all got a copy of that email, and this is something that I mean, I hate to use the term kick the can down the road, because we're not doing this in a thoughtless or careless or in a way that's putting it off. We are approaching our budget and we are approaching our fee schedule very methodically and very purposely, and that's taking a while. We have new commissioners. We've got a number of things going on right now, and so understandably, this has taken some time, but the email raises relevant questions. They've got to know if we're going to raise these rates, and because if we are, they're flat out saying they can't afford it, and they are going to have to develop a new curriculum. And so, it's just one commissioner's opinion, but I feel like this has been beneficial for us and the school for a while. I feel like we haven't been able to adjust our fees and work out the budget things yet, which we will. And this is either going to fall in there or this can be an exception to that. Because what I would propose is that we grandfather them in for this next year, this one time, based on the agreements that we've made with them and the accommodations that we've had for them. It has been mutually beneficial for them and for us. And I don't want to put them behind the all, where if we say no a couple months from now, then they're stuck without a curriculum and something for the kids. I know we want to be equitable in our fee schedule. We've talked about that at length, and I absolutely do want to be equitable. And if we make an exception for one, we should make it for everyone moving forward. But this is something that we have met before. It's an accommodation we've made. It's a partnership that we're in, and we told them that it might change, but we haven't made that change yet. So I'm not saying we shouldn't moving forward, but I would like to. at this point say, let's grandfather them in, keep them under the existing contract until we figure out what we're gonna do next year. And so that's what I'm just like to throw that out.
The problem I see with that is the contract that's existing is the full price. Because that was voted on. So we would actually have to resolve to change the price
To what they were paying.
to what they were paying for. So I don't disagree with you. What is their season? November through March. But first say I totally agree with you. But I don't know that. This could go one of two ways. I think it's all of our intent that we're gonna have a pool on January 1st. But we have a lot of dissent out there. So. Is it the right move to, some people are for the kids, some people are for the taxes. So. We all have to work in the best interest of the taxpayers and the community. So making that choice is hard. I agree with you that I think that it is too much and we should work it out, but we do need, I think we need to check those boxes of the, have we met the equity, have we met the fairness?
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. I just, I think with timeline that we have, and it is a short season, and I think that we allow them to continue for the 5 months under the old contract. We're not standing to lose a lot. And we make it very clear that this is a temporary extension, and once the board's decision is final on how to move forward, whether or not there's a discount or not, it's gonna be everybody across the board. So this is a temporary stay of execution, if you will.
So just, you know, sometimes, you guys keep seeing events, it's not the student body, the whole 5, it's 1 month, a teacher. So that's why let's say, I'd like that you bring the point of like, come January, are we gonna have a pool? So it's 5 months, that's 5 teachers, there might be 2 teachers that might have access to this. That's gonna be their decision to, and also understand that the risk that they're gonna have to consider.
Yeah.
We can grandfather them in, but what's gonna happen is really possible.
Well, in regards to curriculum, they're going to be redoing a curriculum for the next semester, trimester, whatever they're on come January, which at that point they will know it's the full. So they'll at least have some buffer to redecide how to plan their own.
And that's not our decision.
But
So what is the proposal? Are we all, I think it was $80.
Just to clarify, they don't currently have a contract with us per se, because they come in and they pay the rate. But just to make you aware, the board did agree to honor, I want to say, we're in 2023 prices at the beginning of January. For the end of the school year. So, I didn't want you thinking that you'd be going backwards. You'd just be continuing what the board decided. I can't remember if it was January. I thought it was January, but they had already, because we changed it. And then they came back and we were told that they were notified about the change, but then when we went to bill them is when they said, hey, we weren't notified of this. And so I brought it to the board and the board honored the other price.
So they've only ever paid that.
Yes.
Was it $80?
Yeah, it was 80, yes, because we charged them the resident rate.
Okay.
And I will confirm just to make sure. We have resident and non-resident rates for swim lessons. So even if so say that they technically live in Annapolis, but
This year, the resident rate for the previous year. Okay, so the resident rate this year is now 112.
yes, sir.
Okay. I was like, wait a minute, why are we not charging the resident? I see,
Your grandpa was at 80.
Yes,
temporarily 1 year.
until, yeah, until March.
For the season.
May I recommend that you say 2023 resident rate? That way, if
No.
it's not 80, because I just don't remember.
Then if we can't sustain that, then we can't sustain it, but then we'll know that because we will have taken
Right.
a hard look at the fee schedule, the budget, and what we can and can't do across the board for everyone. And so if we're not able to accommodate them after March, we can give them that heads up. Okay, this isn't going to be sustainable.
I would just offer the same consideration to anything else that we're on the chopping block at the moment. Because we haven't made this decision, we haven't finalized this. So, we talked about the master swim.
So snow is only,
Something else that we were
it's
talking
probably 5K, but, and the water rubric, so it's already tabled,
Okay.
or actually resolved. And the Hollywood 5K, we decided to postpone.
So I would say that we need to probably do the same thing with, I think we already kind of got a stopgap on the master's plan, but we really shouldn't be taking massive action on that either. Do it.
We, the master school, decided it was, we weren't going to discuss anything.
So then, yeah, then I would like to make a motion that for the Oak Harbor Elementary program, we allow them to continue for the duration of the season that ends in March at the 2023 resident rate.
A second.
All in favor of this motion, say aye.
Aye.
Items in review. I want to start off, one of the action items from last time was that we were going to actually get our US Masters Swim membership. We still don't have.
No, because it's it's under Julie's name for her account, so, and she has to meet with the master's coach because it asked questions about her that Julie didn't have. And so that meeting was set for the week that she got sick. And then she didn't have a chance to reschedule it before her vacation this week.
We just keep that on the action items tab.
Yes, sir.
I think we came out of this. Good to move on. Board comments.
I'll go. I just want to commend our volunteers for the hard work they're doing to raise funds for the levy, for the community involvement that they've been spearheading. They've been doing a lot of work. I believe that this levy is going to pass. I think it's going to be an uphill battle because there are some detractors, but I've been talking to a lot of folks in the community and they understand the value of the pool, park, the programming. When I spoke to the board today at the Weeby News Times, I said, you just have to emphasize this is not a new tax, not anything above and beyond. This is something that we have to do, fortunately, for now, every 6 years. And he's got the information, but I just listed all the great things that have happened, all the capital improvements, all the programs that have been added, and things like that. So I'm hoping it's going to be a pretty solid article and it's going to have wide readership. I want to get with the committee to find out how many more of those signs are left because I think we need to aggressively get those out. We're getting down to it, 5 weeks. So.
I just want to commend your staff for the military appreciation picnic. I wasn't able to make it down there, but from everything that I've seen, around on social media and the folks that I've talked to. It was a wonderful, you guys put on a wonderful show. So thanks to staff and for your leadership.
I just wanted to, is the board expected to be an open house?
No, but it'd be a good opportunity for you guys to talk with people. Just get them to know you. But no, they're not required.
Is that like an 11 to 1 thing?
It's an evening
That's an
thing.
evening.
It's a Friday evening thing, and it was actually something the board said that they wanted to do before
Yeah.
this board took.
Yeah.
Got on the board. It was a board initiative that during the levy campaign that we have an open house.
Yes.
I believe it's 7 to 9.
I won't be attending because the date. I will be there in spirit.
Well, I will be there. Okay.
And I'm going to do something for like water aerobics and stuff in the morning of that day to talk with them and give them a chance to talk to me. So because I recognize that some of them probably aren't gonna update.
Our next meeting is the budget workshop on October 14th at 6 p.m. here.
So I want to call attention to this date because that's also the night for the program committee meeting. And so originally this was going to be like, we present next year's budget to you, but this is going to now be the other meeting to get us to where we can create the budget for next year. But I didn't know if program committee wanted to reschedule or maybe go an hour before or.
The program committee is kind of a brick wall right now.
Okay. So I'll just cancel that one then. Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
A second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Okay, this is the last chance anybody has to look at that flyer and tell me there's something wrong with it.
Wait, you should stop recording first.
Good point, thank you.
Is it safe? You can just leave.
I think you have to stop recording before if you want to save it to the cloud. So yeah, go up one and then over to stop recording
Thank you.
and then hit stop.